Hi guys, our last video introduced the idea of SohCahToa and how we can use that to solve for unknown sides of a right angle triangle. I set you some My Maths homework which some of you realised straight away you couldn't do all of, or at least you couldn't do it directly using the method I showed you. So for this lesson we're going to take this rule a little bit further and formalise exactly what to do when you can't use the rule directly how I showed you last time. Before we go any further, you are going to need a pen, a calculator and a piece of paper or a maths book in front of you. So I want you to pause the video, grab that material and then solve this triangle. Once you've solved for x in this triangle, press play and carry on. Okay, so you should have solved this triangle by now, so we're just going to go through that. First thing I'm going to do is write SohCahToa down at the top of my page so that I can refer to that when I'm deciding which of the three rules I'm going to use. Now to solve for this triangle, I label my sides opposite 35 degrees is my O, opposite my right angle is my hypotenuse, and then A is adjacent to the 35 degrees. So I need to figure out which rule I'm going to use. And I've got information for O and A, which means it's a tan question. So my tan rule is tan of theta equals opposite over adjacent. Now I substitute my triangle information into the rule. Tan 35 degrees equals x over 7, and now I multiply by 7 to get x equals tan 35 degrees times 7. So that now goes into our calculator. We need to make sure that we're in degrees mode, and then we type in tan 35 times 7 and we get 4.901, so we will round that to 4.90 to 2 decimal places. So that's where we got to yesterday or last time, and you were able to solve probably 3 out of those 6 homework questions using that exact process. So we're going to bring up the My Maths again. So those first 3 you could have solved directly using exactly what I've just gone over again. What we're going to do now is we're going to look at this 4th triangle. So to solve that, my expectation is that you are copying the diagram into your books, or at least onto a piece of paper, and then you're using the process that we go through to solve for the unknown length. So there's the triangle, 27 degrees, x here, 3.9 here. We're going to label the sides of the triangle. That's our opposite, that's our hypotenuse, that's our adjacent. Nothing there, so we need to find the rule that uses A and H, which up here we can see is the cos rule. So far we have done nothing different. We label the triangle, we wrote out the rule, and then we substitute into the rule. But here is where we see a difference. Up here in the red example, we've got x over 7. X is in the top of the fraction, so it was really easy to multiply by 7 to isolate the x term. Here x is in the bottom, so multiplying by 3.9 is not going to help us. That just makes the 3.9 bigger. So what we're going to do is basically 2 steps in one. We're going to multiply by x, which brings the x over to there, and we're going to divide by the cos, which brings that down to this side. So essentially what we're doing is a swap. Okay, so we get x equals 3.9 divided by cos 27 degrees. That is what can go into your calculator. 3.9 divided by cos 27, 4.377, so make that 4.38. Let's check that on the site to make sure we were right. That's right, we need to make it one decimal place, so instead of 4.38 we will round that to 4.4 to 1 dp, and when we mark that we can see we've done that correctly. So just going back to the algebra, what's actually happened here is we've done two things. We have divided by x and we've multiplied by x, and we've divided by cos 27, which has caused the switch. Okay, and we'll go through the algebra of that in a bit more detail in class next time. So that's the end of this video lesson. What I want you to do now is stop the video, go back to your MyMaths and finish off your homework and see how much of that second page you can do as well, because that's a little bit more challenging. So good luck with that, and I will see you next time in class.